Hey, good morning, my fellow degenerate coin and silverholics, coinaholics. Hope everyone's doing well this morning. I wanted to, before we get into our video and our lesson for today, I wanted to take a little bit of time to pay tribute to a very, very awesome individual who passed away earlier in this week, and I can honestly say that you can't find a better person than Scott Hall. Uh, he's been an avid coin roll hunter. He's a great part to the community. I usually don't shout out other coin channels too much, but JB's Coins did a touching live stream tribute the other day, and I just wanted to take some time to recognize Mr. Hall in this video because he's been there for quite some time, and we're friends on Facebook, and just a very, very pleasant, very unique, very selfless, I would say, when it comes to other people going into the hobby. He'll be the first one to kind of virtually extend a handshake and welcoming all the new folks that come into coin collecting and silver stacking and all that stuff. But yeah, it's a tremendous loss. I'm gonna miss having him comment on videos and talking on Facebook and all that. It's just really hard. I guess at the end of the day, coins really doesn't matter, but being amongst friends and families are at the top of the list, and he was definitely a great friend. And I want to thank you, Scott, wherever you may be. Rest in peace, sir. Thank you for your support, not only to me, my family, but also to the coin collecting community. So with that being said, thanks guys for tuning in to this one, and yeah, let's get on with it. All right, so in today's video, I wanted to take some time to discuss probably one of the most important coin references that I would say is probably the best beginner's tool in any new collector's arsenal. Okay, and that's going to be the Red Book Price Guide. They are generally published by Whitman, and anytime I have new collectors come onto the scene, whether they reach out to me individually or they're on Facebook, the question comes up: where do you start? Right? Even if it is for just a moment, maybe you have coins you need to sell, or maybe the prospect of finding something really cool that you could possibly make money on. It kind of lingers in the mind, and we see it all the time, especially on social media. Where do we start? And a lot of people will say education is going to be the first kind of like a definite step one in the process. And again, it's whether or not you're in it for the long haul, as it being a real hobby, or let's say you're just in it temporarily to maybe identify coins that you have currently that was passed down to you. You'll find that this book is going to be an absolute treasure, if not for the pricing, because we'll get to the pricing aspect of this book, because it is a price guide, so to speak. We'll get to that, but that's going to be the least important part to this book. Plus, we're also going to talk about times where this book is not appropriate to whip out, like in a public setting or what have you. Because again, this is kind of like that beginner's tool that you're going to use. So how do I use it? I've been in the hobby for 25 years. Now, this right here is kind of like a retail type of medium, whereas there are wholesale kind of like references that dealers use, like the coin dealer newsletter, also referred to as the gray sheet. So if you brought a coin in, like let's say this graded 1930 AD Buffalo nickel, you brought this into a coin shop, they're going to open up this thing that looks like a newspaper or a newsletter, and they're going to determine a specific amount of money to give you. Okay, generally it's going to be wholesale market value on that gray sheet. All right, so that's what they use. They also use things like Numis Media. There is a retail version and a dealer version where it has dealer prices. I'm actually subscribed to both the newsletter and Numis Media dealer because I do buy sell on the side. But aside from that, that's the other references on the dealer side. Now, oftentimes they will sell things like this, but they'll never use it for market pricing. It holds true for silver because this book does not really, refer to PMs in its pricing because that stuff fluctuates on a daily basis. But anything collectible in coins, you'll find that this book has everything you need. Okay, I hate to sound like a broken record because I've talked about this book on a number of occasions, going all the way back to my first year of being on YouTube. But I figured we'll just take a quick little, recap summary of why the book is useful. I mean, it's required reading. Okay, you're going to find, I just turned to one really nondescript specific page, and there is a bunch of information on colonials and tokens. Okay, and to go in order of the oldest to the newest. And then at the front of the book, it's got basic information. One thing I will say that this book doesn't really cover all too well, and there are other references that you could use, is grading. They only talk about the grading in here, but it doesn't have reference photos. And oftentimes I will generally refer most people to specific websites like PCGS or NGC. You could use the photo grades on there, and it'll give you a really good idea of what your coin kind of comes out to as far as grade. Now, this book is great for getting you started with the basics, okay? Plus, there's a lot of history that's involved with each type of coin or series. You're going to know who designed that piece, what the date range is for a specific series. So let's go somewhere to where we are more familiar, all right? So let's go all the way to the Lincoln Cents, which is right here. All right, so that's kind of like a much modern Lincoln Cent page, and generally this is a 2021 book, so you'll see prices that go all the way up to 2020. So it'll go from the previous year back. But as you can see, there's a lot of information in here on specific changeovers in the actual design from one to the other, which is it's good. You got to know that sort of thing. It'll tell you what the composition is of all of the coins. Any specific like marquee varieties will also be explained in here. Doubled ear, 1984, double die reverse in 1983. I mean, those are some pretty big deal type of varieties that you should know about. But this will not talk about all of the varieties that you could find. And that's why we have websites like Variety Vista, Double to Die, Lincoln Cent Resource, Copper Coins, as kind of like a supplemental, kind of like more advanced tool for identifying other types of varieties that are also quite valuable and you may not know that you have in your possession. So if we're not using the pricing, then what good is it for? Okay, well, first and foremost, you got to look at the grades, okay? And what does that tell you? Well, it doesn't tell you a whole lot other than Mint State 65, which is not a perfect grade. It's not the top grade for that coin, but it gives you what I like to call a baseline. It's like, this is what you can expect for this coin in mid-state condition at a 65-ish, okay? When a price guide says mid-state 65, normally they're going to refer to coins that are already encapsulated, all right? Some coins may not make any sense. I mean, why would you pay $30 to send this out to an NGC or PCGS and have it come back as being like a coin that's only worth 50 cents to $1? So that'll help kind of kind of train you a little bit in here to let you know which coins might be worth sending out. But by no means is any of the pricing ever close to what real world values are today. This is a printed medium done once a year. They do, Whitman or the people involved. I mean, this gentleman right here obviously has passed away, but, Jeff Garrett, Q. David Bowers, a couple of the other guys that are still around actually go through the trouble of going through the market information and adjusting the prices so it's relevant by today's standards. But again, all right, I mean, this 1969 penny in a mint state 65. I mean, do you think you'll really get 70 cents for that? Is it even worth selling on eBay? Those are things you got to know. And this book kind of helps illustrate that in a very, very generic form. Okay, so we've identified that the pricing isn't what you should expect or trust when it comes to real world values and situations of that nature. And that's why, on these auction sites like eBay, Great Collections, and Heritage, there are archives that you could go in and find out exactly what the prices are. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick little demonstration. We're going to start out with a few coins here. We have a 1968D. Let's say you have one of these. It looks really nice like this. We're just simply going to grab the most important information about this coin from the book. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go all the way to 1968, which is right there. And as you can see, it gives you the mintage of 2,886,000,000. Okay, that's quite a few pieces. Value-wise, in a mid-state 63 red brown, it carries a value of 15 cents. Again, it's a baseline. It's more than likely at a 63 brown, it's worth about a penny. In mid-state 65 red, it says 40 cents. Again, that's a baseline, but as you can see, it's missing mid-state 66, 67, 68. The grades that really do matter when it comes to like actual rarity and value for some of these semi-newer coins like this. So as you can see, this coin right here, it's got a few little nicks and, bag marks and things like that. This is a coin that, is worth roughly about 10 cents. Give her plus or minus a nickel, somewhere around there. All right, here's another semi-modern coin. This is a really nice 1978 Ike dollar. It's weird enough that it does definitely draw some attention just based off of its size. Someone might think that it's worth actually more than it actually is. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how much something like that might be worth. So we got 78 Eisenhower. As you can see, it's got a full page right there. And I'll even give you the other information right here as far as who designed it. Frank Gasparo lent his hand in there as being the designer. Plus, it also gives you the composition layout, which is always nice because you need to know that. Let's see, 1978 right here, and it's a Philly. So it's a copper nickel clad composition. 25,702,000 pieces were made. The coin, I would say, is in really nice shape. This actually came out of a mint set, so I'm confident in saying it's at least between a mint state 63 and 65. I know there's a lot of deviation in there. But when you look at the value of this coin, it could be somewhere in that $5 to $10 range, It says $45 in mint state 65, but again, at that level, people are expecting the coins to be encapsulated. So when you see $45 in the mint state 65, then you also have to realize it costs money to send these coins out for grading. It may not make any sense then, and that's why you would use this book to make that call. And especially holds true when you are trying to decipher exactly is a valuable coin in your collection that requires further research. All right, so let's get into something that's a little bit older. We have a 1957 Washington quarter. It looks to be in pretty nice shape, but it's got what looks to be some scratches on there, some toning of sorts, but it's a 57 Philadelphia. So we are going to take a look at that coin. and see if we have any sort of extra value in there, or is it something that's just really worth silver melt value. And right there, 57. So there's two numbers here. The first one in parentheses is proof coinage, which this one is not. It has a mintage of 46,532,000, and then the prices are all rather consistent across the board. Again, these are baselines. The coin is probably worth about $5. It looks to be just silver melt for that one. Here's the next one that we will demonstrate, which is a little bit oddball. 1889 or 1888 rather. S seated Liberty quarter for this exercise. Since we are in the quarter section already, this should be a pretty easy find here. One more page, and there you go. 1888S. Okay, so small mintage, 1,216,000, and you see this is quite a valuable coin. The coin, I would say, is somewhere in that fine condition. And that's just based off of my observation. I'm pretty well versed at grading coins because I've done it for a while. But again, that's all part of the lesson plan, is being able to identify a type of grade that you have, along with it being an honest coin. Is it cleaned? Is it damaged in any way? Those will also have a negative impact on the actual value of your coin. And then the last one I think that we will go and take a look at for this lesson is going to be an 1890 Morgan dollar. It looks in pretty decent shape. It's got some luster, just original skin on there. I would say this is more like an AU 55-ish type coin. It's not lustrous. You could see just kind of like the general circulation wear and the little scratches on there. So what is that one? 1890. And that one does not have a mint mark on there. So we'll take a look at this one. All right, 1890 Philadelphia, 16,802,000. There are proofs in there. Only 590 were made, but as you can see, it's worth that amount of money right there. And if you go all the way to the top of the graph, it'll give you the actual numerical grades. But keep in mind, there are other numerical grades in between each and every single one of these. There's a mid-state 61, 62, 66, 67. There's an AU 53, 55, 58. You get the big idea. So it's not a complete baseline calculator for pricing based on the fact that there's a lot of grades missing. But again, it just gives you a general idea. Never in your wildest imagination would you use this reference for selling coins online because the Red Book says so. Okay, not a lot of people actually take this information seriously. Which leads me to my next point. Now, when is it not appropriate to ever use this manual right here? And it's real simple. When you're out shopping at either a coin shop or a coin dealer, you should not even whip this out. Okay, that would be insulting to the dealer or to any other dealer at a coin show. Okay, never bring this up. You could just as easily use some references on your phone. There are apps to use. Go on eBay. Those are much better and more discreet. So anytime a dealer catches, a newbie or whoever that is, whip out a Red Book price guide, okay, more than likely they're just going to, roll their eyes and whatever, okay? And don't under any circumstances bring up any pricing within this book as you're negotiating a sale with a coin dealer or shop. Don't ever do that. It's embarrassing, and more than likely they're going to say no. I would say 99% of the time. But just keep in mind that this book right here is only good as kind of like an at-home reference. It helps you get yourself kind of like in tune with the type of series, the designs, the composition. I mean, it is basically a beginner's reference book for you to use. And that's all it should be, okay? And I would say the same thing. If you're at a coin dealer, don't whip out the coin dealer newsletter if you're a member of that. Do not do any of that stuff. And, if those type of things, if you could do it discreetly, that's fine, but don't whip out a physical, actual media piece in front of your coin dealer that you're trying to make a sale with. Generally, that's frowned upon. But yeah, look at all the little piece of paper coming from this book. But this is a great resource, I would say, for the raw coins that I've showed you. When it comes to actual graded slabs, the market is calculated a lot differently. All right, so when you do that, it's perfectly fine to refer to eBay completed sales, because there are going to be, I mean, this is a very common grade for a 79S Morgan dollar, and I guarantee you there's been a number of sales on eBay, and it'll give you more or less a really good kind of like average for all the coins that I've sold on there, and that'll help you not only make a sale later on, especially when you're looking at a collection of graded coins, or perhaps if you're a coin dealer and you're trying to figure out if whether or not that person is selling theirs a little bit too high, then you could actually negotiate a price. And it's perfectly fine to go on eBay and to look at, completed sales. But at the end of the day, the Red Book Price Guide is a fantastic reference guide for getting to know your coins, up and down the list, from the old stuff all the way up to the new stuff that you find in change today. And I would say, based off of the price of the books, which you could get on Amazon for like 10, 15 bucks, is probably going to be the best amount of money that you'll spend as a new collector. Oh, and a magnifier. Always get a magnifier. Those are under 10 bucks as well. And then you just go at it, have fun. I know back when I was a kid, I was looking through this book all the time. I brought it with me in the car for road trips, and I was a big coin nerd back in the early 90s, mid 90s. And today I think I still am. So that hasn't changed quite a bit. So yeah, there you go. But I want to thank you guys for joining in on this video. It sure was a lot of fun. Just kind of recapping the Red Book and everything that it has to offer, things that you should do, should not do. Yeah, it's kind of a short list, but that's going to go ahead and do it. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to like, share, subscribe. If you haven't done so already, hit that bell. And Coinaholics, we are discovering together. You guys take care. Have a wonderful day. Happy hunting, happy searching, and I'll see you next time.